everybody, I'm Jonathan Randall, and welcome to another episode of How You Like Me Now. Hope you all doing well out there. Let's get into it. I went on a date this week. It went well. Very nice girl. Had a good time. But she was just getting over like a cold or being sick or something. Like she was like coughing a lot during the date, and it was just so gross. Like nothing sexy about like all the time. And it's like, if you're gonna go out with somebody, if you're gonna have a date with somebody and you're not feeling well, or you're just getting over a sickness, especially if it's gonna be like your first interaction, don't go. Postpone it. Tell them you haven't been feeling well. Ask if you go out at a different time. But that's no way to like start a relationship and like start building attraction when you're like coughing up phlegm. Like this girl was really nice, but like I was a little bit grossed out. And like if I would have known that she was like getting over something, I would not have went out with her. I don't think I got sick from her because I maintained the distance. I did not make any moves. But maybe, hey, maybe that's the way to do it, girls. If you don't want to fool around at all with somebody on the first date, then go out when you're not feeling well, and they will not want to touch you. Actually, I'm sure there are some dudes that'll still want to touch you. But me personally, it was such a turn off. I did not want to like talk closely to that girl. Forget about make a move or make out with her. It's really gross. So like, if you're not feeling well, don't go on the date. It's no way to make a first impression. Movies. I love movies. I'm a big fan of film, always have been. I like going to the movies. Typically, lately, I only really go to the movies if it's like a big budget action superhero movie or something, like one of the franchise films, something that I know is going to enhance, the viewing of seeing it in a big theater with that sound system. And, sometimes it's nice also to be around a bunch of people. One thing, though, I can't stand, which I've noticed is happening a lot now during the movies, is before the movie starts, the actors in the movie like come on screen and give a little message of thanks everybody for coming to see the movie in a theater. And I just find it the most patronizing thing ever. It's such a turnoff for me. It does not seem sincere. I'm like, save the acting for when you're actually in the movie. I don't need to see this before. Never did I see that and be like, oh man, I can't wait to see this movie. I usually be like, oh my gosh, if they have to thank me for seeing the movie before the movie even starts, then this movie probably sucks. I don't know whose idea this was, but it's awful. Stop doing it. I don't want to, it's bad enough there's already like 30 minutes of trailers before the movie, and then you got to sit through this other thing too where they're like, thanks for coming out to the movie. No, you're not welcome, okay? I want to leave when they say that. It's just horrible. So I really hate that. I hope you hate it too. So write a letter to movie theater and tell them how annoying it is when someone says that, thanks for coming to see my movie. Whatever. Maybe say that after the credits, like if people want to stay, like it's a Marvel after credits scene or whatever, be like, hey guys, thanks for staying, appreciate it, okay. But like before the movie, I feel like it just like sets off the movie. It sets me off. It triggers me for some reason, and I'm like, oh god, it like starts the movie off on a sour note. I hate it. Let's talk about Fox News. Hey, they settled their defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for $787 million over the Not News network repeatedly making false claims about election fraud. Fox News, we can't back up our lies, but we can pay to say them. That should be their motto. And yes, CNN sucks too, okay? CNN is awful. But guess what? CNN isn't so awful that it has to pay $787 million to cover up its lies, because Fox News didn't want to go to court. It didn't want to have to put, its people on the stand and admit to everybody that they lied. So they paid off Dominion, and they have other lawsuits against them. I hate Fox News. I've never been a fan. I never understood how people like watch it or so obsessed with it. It's not news. It's like entertainment. It's actually just like a conservative echo chamber, and that's what people like want to watch and listen to when they, have those beliefs. Unfortunately, that's like where we're living in the world. It's not only with conservatives, it's with liberals too, that they don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear what's going to make them feel good or what they agree with or what they like. That's what's important to them. It's been highlighted so much by, Donald Trump, who's like so full of shit, but people just don't care. They like him so much, they're willing to allow him to do whatever the hell he wants, just because in a lot of cases, I think they hate liberals that much. Anyways, Fox News is totally full of shit. They don't want people to know that they are, even though everybody does know. So they paid off Dominion. I think it's clearer than ever that Fox News doesn't care about being truthful with the public. They just want, people to tune in. That's what they care about, the ratings. They care about viewers. They don't care about honesty. They don't care about America. And they don't care about, informing the public to the reality of the world. They just care about people tuning in, whether, what they're saying is true or not. It doesn't matter as long as they're saying what the people want to hear and they know what their people want to hear. And unfortunately, it's lies. Anyways, I don't think this is going to deter anyone from watching Fox News. The people that like Fox News are still going to watch it because they don't care. They just want to hear what they want to hear. They're not, interested in the truth. And I don't think this is going to stop Fox News from telling bullshit lies, which everybody knows they did. I mean, they have, their anchors on tape like saying, oh, we know this is all bullshit and lies that we have to say on the air, but we're saying it anyways. And now with this case where, it cost them $787 million to lie, I don't think they're going to stop saying conspiracies and, lying to the public. I think now they're just going to cover it up better because obviously they did not do a good job, which was going to get them landed in court. And, they have tapes exposed and everything. So now they're just going to make sure that there's no paper trail to their lies, but they're still going to continue to do it, which is sad. It's sad that people are still going to watch it because Fox News totally sucks. And yeah, I don't care. CNN sucks too. But get over it. Multiple things could suck. It doesn't mean that one thing is just because, CNN sucks, we'll listen to Fox News lies. That's just such crazy logic. Anyways, if you're watching Fox News, stop. It's not news. If you want to watch it for entertainment, like you watch wrestling, then fine. But no, it's basically like the wrestling of news. That's what Fox is. Anyways, Coachella, I guess, just ended. I don't really know. I don't care about Coachella. It's so weird. I guess my day it was Lollapalooza or something. I mean, I don't give a shit about Coachella. I guess that's how old I am. To me, Coachella is just a bunch of girls wearing really dumb hats. That's what I see from social media or any videos of Coachella. It just looks like a really stupid hat fashion show with music in the background. I don't understand these dumb hats, why women want to wear them. I don't think they're cool. Sometimes I see women in New York wearing them too, these really big, dumb, unfortunate hats, and I just want to smack them off their head. Anyways, girls, put the dumb hats away. They're not cool, and no one cares about your dumb Instagram picture wearing a stupid hat at Coachella, even though you really want them to. They don't like your hat, most likely. They like something to do with your body. Anyways, chess. I'm not a big chess player. Game of strategy, of skill. My dad played it a lot growing up. I never really got into it. But I am into the story about 3 Tunisian chess players who refused to play Israeli players in the International Chess Federation World School Chess Championship. Yeah, that's a mouthful. They boycotted Israeli players apparently 12 times, and then they got kicked out of the competition, which is unfortunate that they got kicked out of the competition. But I think it's amazing that these players stood up for what they believe in, and I really respect this form of nonviolent protest. And, people want to get upset. This isn't in the spirit of the competition, whenever things like this happen. Because a lot of times athletes, they don't want to compete against Israelis kind of standing in solidarity with the Palestinian people, and they want to boycott that in protest of Israel's flagrant human rights violations, which I think is awesome. And people want to just condemn them and give them a hard time, which to me is a little crazy because, obviously I'm very against violent protests. I'm against the killings of anybody, and I think they're horrible, and I don't think people should do that. I don't think that's the way to go. I think this kind of nonviolent protest like these guys did for the chess tournament is better, but it's crazy that people want to, condemn them boycotting playing Israeli players when I feel like, no, we got to be more supportive of this kind of nonviolent protest because the other kind of protest is taking people's lives. So this is a kind of protest that's raising awareness. I think it's awesome. Kudos to those players. I think they got checkmate by calling out Israel and by standing by what they believe in and not playing Israeli players. Things in Israel aren't that great. Of course, there was an awful riot in Hawara back in, a couple months ago. And, somebody was killed. A Palestinian was killed. His name was Samet al-Aktash. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was killed. Him and his family were there during the riot that took place, and he was shot and he was killed. His family tried to rush him to a hospital, but of course Israel, blocks the roads. By the time they finally got there, he was dead. Now, they also try to report his death to Israeli authorities, because maybe they could find out who killed him and maybe they could, go to prison or face some justice for murdering this guy. But every time they went to try to file a report, they were turned away. They were unable to file a report until finally an investigation was started by Israel after a lot of media was picking up the story that they couldn't. They couldn't come and report his death, and because the media was reporting that, Israel finally opened up an investigation, which is good. According to Yesh Din, which is an Israeli human rights group, only 93% of complaints to the Israeli police regarding settler violence result in any sort of indictment. And when it comes to the Israeli military, only 1%, less than 1%, not even 1%. 1% was small enough. It's even less than 1% result in an indictment, which is absolutely crazy. So, this family doesn't think anything's going to happen, that they're going to be able to bring anyone to justice for, their family members' murder. Unfortunately, a lot of Palestinians feel this way. In fact, apparently a third of crimes against Palestinians, they don't even report because they feel like, what's the point? And when you hear the statistics, which are from an Israeli human rights organization, it's pretty easy to see why Palestinians feel so absolutely hopeless, as well as obvious that they are living in a system of discrimination based on the fact that they're Palestinians. It's absolutely crazy that if you if a Palestinian kills an Israeli, they're labeled as a terrorist for the whole world to see. And not only are they typically killed, but their family also is punished in some way. But when an Israeli settler kills a Palestinian, they get away with it and no one really cares. Often they do so under the protection of the Israeli military, which is absolutely horrible and really sad. Which brings us to this week is 75 years since Israel was created, since Israel started. Israel is going to be celebrating their independence. But, I don't know how you could be celebrating this without acknowledging the horrible effect that it has had on the Palestinian people. And also, I don't think there's reason to celebrate besides the fact that, Palestinians are oppressed. Palestine's still occupied. Palestinians have their fundamental human rights constantly abused. But also, there's plenty of division in the country itself where, for the last, 16 weeks or more, thousands and thousands of Israelis have been protesting their new government. Netanyahu's ultra-nationalist right-wing government. Doesn't seem like a time for celebration. It seems more like a time to end the occupation and to get rid of a government that's filled with racist religious zealots who care more about Jewish supremacy than democratic values. I feel like that's the time. Not to have the celebration. Israel might want to be celebrating 75 years of statehood, but the Palestinians have experienced 75 years of ethnic cleansing, fundamental human rights abuses, and constant harassment and violence. Not just 75 years ago, but for the past 75 years. So personally, I'll save my celebrating until Palestine is free and its people can live a life of dignity. I'm Jonathan Randall. If you're not following me on social media, please do so at Jonathan Randall. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jonathan Randall. How you like me now?